It's time for the absolutely... I'm on my way! Completely! I'm almost there! Random! Why are there so many stairs? Podcast! Oh, jeez! With Andrew Rhodes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely completely random podcast for Saturday, July 31st, 2021. I'm your host, as always, right here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel, Andrew Rhodes. And what am I talking about today? Well, I got a lot of interesting things to talk about today, believe it or not. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney! Yeah, that's gonna go well. That's gonna go well. A kid discovered an exploit in a graphics lottery loophole on Newegg, and they thanked him for it and then closed the loophole. Yay! Has anybody been paying attention to the Olympics? I occasionally check the little tally mark score thing on the Roku channel, and I've been watching the Marble League, but I haven't really been watching the Olympics. Well, apparently, they played a lot of these video game themes during the opening ceremony, and oh boy, this is actually kind of interesting. But on top of that, Google has also made a really interesting Doodle that's up, and you can actually still play it till the end of the Olympics. I would highly recommend doing it now before they end and you can't play it anymore, because honestly, it only took me about an hour and a half to beat the whole damn thing, so that should tell you something. It only took about an hour and a half. And, yes. Oh, God, here we go. So, I'm sure everybody's been seeing this all over the internet, that Activision and Blizzard are really up El Shit Creeko here. They are up Shite Creek without a paddle on this one. And they have now hired a union-busting firm as their workers are starting to come together and say, we're not going to take this shit no more. Oh, this is not going to end well. And a special topic this week because, well, I'll explain why when I get to it. But anyway, you know the song and dance by now, though, I'm sure. We're at this part now. Let's do the song and dance. Sing along if you know the words. If you're in the market for weird stuff, oddities, collectibles, DVDs, video games, trading cards, action figure parts, what have you, I probably have it. One person's trash is always another person's treasure over on eBay, the worldwide flea market that is the wonderful site where there's auctions galore. Buy it now as you can get lots of stuff. You can buy William Shatner's old toupee and Kleenexes used by Dr. Dre. Hell, you can find anything over on eBay, and they don't sponsor me, by the way. I just have my own eBay page. Why don't you come check it out? It's ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. Like I said, wide variety of stuff for sale. I am working on getting more stuff up. I really am. I am working on it. It's a process. It is a long, drawn-out process. It is a long, drawn-out, pain-in-my-ass process, but it is a long process. I'm working on it as fast as I can. But, in the meantime, come by, check out what I got, check out my wares, say hi, shoot the shit, just see what I have. Over on eBay, that's ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. And hey, while you're surfing the information superhighway, why not check out Twitter? Because I'm over there. @OtakuRhodes is my handle on Twitter. That's the @ capital OTAKU, capital RHOADS. I usually like shooting the shit with people over there. It's a lot of fun. And there's also the Web Designer 18 Facebook page. That's right. I have a Facebook page for this channel. And on top of that, I also have a Ko-fi page for this channel. Yes, that's right. A Ko-fi page. Has it panned out yet? No. But I still have hopes. I still have hopes. It probably won't, but I still have hopes. You never know. But yeah, come check that out. And hey, while you're here, by the way, links to all that minus the eBay page, you can actually find in the About Me section. You can find the link to Twitter, Facebook, and the Ko-fi page. eBay, you literally just got to look up ARHOADS 2012 on eBay, all lowercase, ARHOADS-2012. There you go. But hey, while you're here on YouTube, don't forget, do the standard YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Be in the loop for when new videos drop. Because it's always fun, isn't it? When new stuff drops, you get to see it. I know, I know. It's fun. All right, so this has been an interesting week though so far. So Monday and Tuesday were sort of the uneventful-ish days. Even last Sunday wasn't really that eventful. But Wednesday. Oh, God, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday had to be one of the most weirdest days. I'll just go weirdest days I've had. So went to work. That was fine. Came home, did my standard, okay, checking this, checking this, checking this. Got my freebies in some of my apps. Checking this, putting out some applications. And about, I'd say like 1:30ish maybe, the power goes out. And then it comes right back on. I'm like, well, that was an inconvenience and an annoyance, but it's all right. It's fine. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened. Then about a little bit later, I'd say like about 1:45, I want to say, give or take. And I know my mom would probably correct me on this because I don't know the exact time. The power goes out again. Now we're thinking, oh, great. First off, I'm thinking, oh, great. Is this our freaking, electrical issue from February back again? I mean, granted, we still haven't gotten it fixed because I'm not spending $1,650 that I think is highway robbery when all that needs to be replaced is a goddamn panel and breakers. I don't see spending almost $2,000 for that. That's highway robbery. So, we're still looking around to get that fixed. But, so basically, I'm like, okay, well, no, because the power's out, next door, power's out up at the township building, and we look out, because we can see the municipality building from where we live. We can literally see it. And we look across, it's like, oh, look, fire company doesn't have power. And because I help out the fire company, I get a little, I'm on there, hey, can you quick run over, see why our alarm's going off? And that's fine, I don't mind doing that. Well, I got an alert that, hey, there's an issue, and I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. It's probably just registering that there's a power outage, blah, blah, blah. So I walk over, and this is the best part. I walk in, and now before I even get the door open, you have the alarm panel that's beeping, and I hear this beep, beep, beep coming from inside the building. I'm like, well, what the hell is that beep? Because I know the alarm panel noise, but I'm like, what the hell is this other beeping noise? It's like beep, beep, beep. I'm like, what the hell is that? So then here I go and I open up the door. I turn and there's a desktop in there that they use to like send the reports in that. And it has a battery backup. The battery backup is currently on and the whole engine room is pitch dark. And I'm like, what in the hell? Because they have a generator. The generator is supposed to kick on. Generator didn't kick on. And I'm like, oh, this can't be good. So, this is the best part. So, I get a hold of the people I need to be getting a hold of for it. I'm like, yeah, there's a problem. Generator's not on. So then they come up. They're looking at it. And, by the way, it would be my uncle and aunt because they're technically high up in the fire company. So, they're looking at it. They get it started. Then it dies again. Then they go out, start it again, and it dies again. And it's like, you stick around for the guy to come look at the generator. Yeah, sure, I'll stick around. I'll wait. I'm not really doing anything. Seriously, I'm not really doing anything because there's no power. And the power comes back about 2:30. Because now, to be fair, we called the electric company. And because they have an 800 number you're supposed to call if your power goes out. We called it. And they're like, about 4:30. That's the computer's estimate. It came back about, I want to say 2:30-ish. So about a good 2 hours beforehand. Maybe a little under 2 hours. I think it was like 2:45 when it came back. So yeah, somewhere in there. But anyway, it's like, oh yeah, that's not too bad. Well, then the person that came, looked at the generator, looked at it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's, overheated. We're thinking it's like a major issue. We're thinking, okay, there's like a blown circuit or something. There's like a fried wire. Something got too much voltage. And here it's just a fucking mechanical issue. It ran out of coolant. It ran out of coolant! And I remember making the comment, I'm like, we're looking at this trying to figure out a solution, and we're looking at it like a genius would, trying to figure out, okay, so it's got to be something, internal. It's got to be like an electrical issue, main power failure, blown wire, blown trace, something. And we're looking at this from the standpoint of people that have high intelligence. Whereas it's a simple solution, it ran out of coolant. that was the best. They ended up getting it fixed, so that was good. But I'm just like, I was like, I was laughing. I honestly was laughing my ass off with this. I'm like, this is like the funniest joke I have had all day. But yeah, that was like most of my Wednesday, and then Thursday was just weird because it looked like it was gonna storm, and then it kind of did. Didn't really do much around me, happily, but yeah. And then Friday was a weird day. It was just weird. But anyway, that was my week. I did the Q&A video. I did record a rant video on Netflix doing the live-action Pokemon series, which by the time you're listening to this podcast will have already been up. And I'm hoping it does well, because I really had a blast doing that one. I just gotta upload it yet. As I'm recording this right now, I still have to upload it. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be a lot of fun. But anyway, let's get in to the podcast. This is gonna be a lot of fun this week. I can just feel it. All right, so I'm sure by now everybody's heard about this in some way, somehow. They've heard about Blizzard and Activision's huge issue that they're having. And I'm not going to go into high detail of it because, honestly, you could Google search this thing. It's like one of the first 3 results. It is not... This thing has been in the freaking news so much now, it's just annoying. But what got me was this article that came out Thursday from Kotaku. And this one's kind of interesting. So, Wilmer Hale is going to be reviewing Activision Blizzard's HR policies. So they've hired what's basically considered a union-busting firm, as their workers are basically... I have no idea what the hell's going on here with this, to be honest with you. But what happened was Activision and Blizzard basically got themselves into I don't want to say little hot water, because at this point, they're basically looking at a lobster tank of hot water here. I mean, we're talking boiling water, like 2,080 degrees above Celsius. Or 2,080 degrees Celsius hot. They are screwed. The industry, though, this is an industry. The video game industry is constantly under fire for discriminatory practices, sexual harassment, grueling crunch conditions, frequent mass layoffs. Unionizing has been a hot-button issue. And the state of California has a lawsuit against Activision, and Blizzard is demonstrating that video game companies have a well-earned reputation for creating a work environment that are, at best, uncomfortable, at worst, downright hostile. The game workers want to unionize. Apparently, this is not something that they want. But all of this is just paling in comparison, because Activision and Blizzard got into trouble with sexual harassment stuff, discriminatory practices, just, massive, massive problems here. I want to actually double check this. I know it was like one of the first 3 results on it, because I really don't want to go into high detail on it. Because it's just like, there's just, it's literally one of the first ones. Damn. It's literally like one of the first things. But they walked out after sexual harassments and everything else. The workers walked out. And honestly, I don't blame them for this. I really don't. The California has sued the company, which makes popular titles including World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, alleging that the company has a pervasive frat boy culture. Not exactly denying this. I think they kind of do. I've seen this. I don't know. I've seen the jokes, and I don't think they're blowing it way out of proportion at this point. I think they're pretty much right. And Activision and Blizzard, I'm not joking about this. I kind of think what they did is wrong. they should know here's a line you don't fucking cross the line. And this definitely is that. Especially when you have your, I think it was the former boss comes out and apologizes out his ass. Yeah, that's not exactly a good thing here. So, they've hired apparently a union busting firm to start taking care of some of this, looking into this. I'm not going to go into detail on that either. You can literally pull it up in here because it kind of goes into political stuff, which I don't deal with on this channel. But that's what the law firm has in their history, so I'm not going to touch that. The law firm is Wilmer Hale. Literally, you can just pull up the article here. You can read it for yourself, so I'm going to paraphrase this as best as I can. So, yeah, this is just weird. But their CEO comments on the harassment allegations. Employees walked out. They planned a mass walkout on Wednesday, which I think they actually went through. Yeah, the employees are pissed. The employees are just, they're freaking, they've had it. Honest to God, they've had it. Like 28th. Yeah, that would have been Wednesday. Okay, so they did walk out on Wednesday. Yeah, the employees are pissed, understandably. I don't blame them. I really don't. There's a time and place when you're willing to take so much, and like I said, there's a line, you don't cross it, and they crossed it tremendously. So basically, though, Wilmer Hill is a powerful law firm. It's taken on big, powerful clients. Lawyers from combined firms are part of a special investigative committee. Looked into like finances of a lot of other people, Swiss bank accounts, profiting from the Holocaust, German companies accused of exploiting forced labor. Like I said, this company has a wide and long history that I don't even want to touch. Let's just go that route. Because there's an old saying, once you go down the rabbit hole, you don't ever like what you see. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, so I'm going to avoid that. But yeah, so apparently this is the same group, if I read this article right, it's the same law firm that's helping Amazon keep its workers from unionizing. So that's always a good sign. So hence why they're calling them the union busting people. So Activision Blizzard, a company currently under fire for its discriminatory practices and rampant sexual harassment issues, hires them. The reputation for union busting, heads are turning and brows are furrowing, and the employees are now either getting pissed off, worried, or just in general annoyed. And like I said, I've been following this with a grain of salt because, like, okay, when you hear game company and you hear sexual harassment and you hear discriminatory practices, you walk away. It's like, okay, that's a dumpster fire that I don't even want to attempt to try to put out. I don't even want to look at that dumpster fire. That's basically, you're smelling the trash 6.5 miles away. You know what's causing it. You feel sorry for the people that have to smell it, but you don't want to get anywhere near that. And that's, otherwise I would have been making an entire thing about this, but this article just got me, I want to say, because it's interesting that they're going, oh yeah, no, we're going to hire this law firm because, yeah, we're going to give you this law firm. We're going to hire them because we want to make sure this goes away. So this isn't even a, interpret this as you will. This is basically either they hired the big powerful law firm to come in and clean this mess up, which is a possibility, or they hired this law firm with the sole purpose of, we're done playing around, either bend to our will or else. And the or else is basically the employees just leave and you're SOL. They could go breach a contract out their ass if they want to, but in all honesty, they would be pretty hard, I think, to prove that the employees breached the contract if they're leaving because of the environment and the conditions. So that is a possibility. So this is an interesting, though, thing. Responding to Kotaku's inquiry regarding the relationship between the game company and the law firm, an Activision representative said WilmerHale has extensive experience helping organizations strengthen their workplace environment by making improvements around policies and procedures related to discrimination, harassment, and relation issues. The law firm has yet to respond to their request for a comment. Basically, I would just assume that being that you're hiring them to come in and tell you what common sense should tell you. Seriously. That's honestly how I interpreted that. I'm looking at this like they hired them to come in and tell them what common sense would tell them. So the topic of unionizing, was brought up in a recent all-hands meeting regarding the California lawsuit. Activision Blizzard executive Joshua Taub, T-A-U-B, allegedly advised employees that the best way for protection is reaching out to your supervisors, hotline, and avenues. But as reporting has shown, turning to things like HR doesn't always work out for the affected employees. I really hate to say it this way, but that's true about a lot of businesses, because I know we have that at work. It's like, there's a chain of command you're supposed to go up. You're supposed to say something to your supervisor, or if you don't get restitution that way, then say something to the manager, and you don't get anything that way, then you keep going up the chain of command. You're not supposed to jump the chain. But yeah, so this is, like I said, I don't want to go too deep into this because this is still going, on yet, so there's gonna be a lot of shifting with this one. The ground's really not stable with this, but yeah, I think this is basically gonna be the end of Activision and Blizzard. I think this is basically it. If they come out of this, I really hate to say it this way, if they survive this, if they honestly survive this, it'll be a miracle. But I don't see them surviving this. I honestly see this being the final nail in their coffin. Because, let's face it, their last few games they've come out with weren't exactly massive successes. They weren't exactly the world's greatest games either. There's flaws in a lot of the stuff nowadays. But the fact that they literally get called out for this, and this is going to be like an open... This is something that's going to have repercussions throughout the gaming industry. This isn't just a centralized problem. This is something that's going to be affecting the wide spectrum. This is a massive ripple in a small pond. You chuck this huge rock in there, it's shooting ripples out, and it's going to be moving for a while. This is going to have a massive chain effect down the line, because I guarantee you other gaming companies right now and other gaming publishers, they're looking at this like, okay, what are our policies in regards to this? No, we don't want to go down the road that they're going down. And they're going to look at this like, we're going to fix this shit up so that we don't turn out like them. So this is going to be a huge game changer in a lot of ways for the gaming industry. Because this is going to show that, okay, while Activision Blizzard may have been, sexist and discrimination and, discriminatory and everything else, we're not following that. No, we're making massive sweeping changes. And the thing is that a lot of the employees that'll probably end up either A, losing their jobs because they'll either find a way to get rid of them legally, they'll find a legal loophole, or the employees will just quit because they're not getting anywhere. They'll honestly just, I guarantee you one of these other gaming companies will go, hey, no, we're not like them. After that entire thing happened, we made a massive change in our policies. If you want a job, our doors are open. Come see us. And I guarantee you this is going to have massive repercussions. Like I said, if Blizzard and Activision, if they get out of this, if they come out of this unscathed in any way, shape, or form, this is not going to end well. When you have an entire state on your ass, you're done. You're finished. Like I said, if they survive this, it'll be a miracle. If they manage to come out of this not smelling like garbage, it'll be a miracle. But yeah, I don't see this ending well whatsoever for them. This is going to be yeah, this is not going to end well for Activision Blizzard. This is bad news for them. And in all honesty, they brought this on themselves. They really did. I mean, common sense would tell you, okay, we shouldn't treat people like garbage, then you shouldn't treat people like garbage. It's common sense. But, of course, people don't have that, but they're learning this the hard way. So, yeah, if they survive this, it'll be a miracle. It really will be. Okay, speaking of lawsuits out their ass, Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney for breach of contract over the Black Widow release. Now, for those of you that don't know what the hell's going on here, let me sum this up. So apparently, Black Widow was released both in theaters and on Disney+. However, Scarlett Johansson, who plays the iconic hero Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, she got screwed. And not in a good way. Disney didn't even buy her dinner first. They just flat out screwed her. That's kind of the bad thing. You're supposed to buy them dinner first. There's a pecking order for this, Disney. You're supposed to buy them dinner first, then screw them. Because they released the movie both digitally with streaming rights the same day as theaters, it stagnated, apparently, according to Johansson, the theater release, which is prevalent on her making a lot of money. The lawsuit that was filed on Thursday in the Los Angeles Superior Court, attorneys for Johansson alleged the star's contract was breached when the studio opted not to debut the film exclusively in theaters, a move they claimed depressed ticket sales for the Avengers spin-off. Much of Johansson's compensation was tied to the box office performance of Black Widow. If it hit certain benchmarks, bonuses would kick in. And this is something that is in question a lot for a lot of the movies nowadays, because we have a lot of the streaming stuff like same day in theaters, as it will be, you can go see it in theaters, you can go see it online and watch it on your streaming service at home. And this, I know somebody's going to say it in the comments, but here's the thing. Theaters have been dying for the last few years. So this is basically a way for the production studios and the people behind the scenes to get their damn money out of this. They know that streaming services are popular. They're like, look, we release it the same day on our service as it is in theaters. We can at least make sure that we're guaranteed to make something out of this. Rather than, okay, we're just going to spend the money. It's only going to go in theaters. And, we're not making that much money back from this. And then they take a bath on this. So I can understand their side of this by, doing a dual release. On the other end of the spectrum, you also have the actors whose contracts state that they get paid X amount if it reaches a certain amount of money from being in the theaters. We'll get bonuses that'll be kicked in. That's their livelihood that you're literally ripping from their mouths. And I know someone's going to say, but they don't, okay, well, they make a lot of money. Yeah. And they also have to pay a butt ton of taxes. They have other things that they have to take care of and deal with. Oh, yeah, they make a butt ton of money from one-off, when it starts off. Yeah, they're going to get a crap ton of that. Over time, it dwindles. You're lucky if you get royalties then, if the royalties are enough to keep you going. But unless you have it specified that, yeah, we're going to give you royalties for this, or, oh, yeah, no, you're going to get a cut of the digital sales, you're cutting them out of the equation to put more money into your pocket and take it out of theirs. So there's literally both sides of this story to understand, but both sides equally have understandable grievances in this. So Disney's intentionally induced Marvel's breach of contract, the breach of the agreement, without justification in order to prevent Miss Johansson from realizing the full benefit of her bargain with Marvel, according to the suit. And then again, you're dealing with Disney. They have found ways to make legal loopholes stick. How the hell do you think they were able to build on a fucking swamp? Come on. Disney announced back in March that Black Widow would premiere simultaneously on the studio's subscription-based streaming service, Disney Plus, for a premium $30 price, as well as on the big screen. The move was made as the movie theater industry was rebounding from COVID-19 closures and capacity restrictions. Yeah, let's also face facts here, folks. Movie theaters are dead. You're not going to go to a movie theater. I mean, the last movie I went to go see was Battle Angel Alita. It cost me $30 to go see that. $30. to go see. Movies are not cheap to watch anymore. The bigger budget the production, the more money the theaters have to pay for that first weekend, and after that first weekend, it starts dropping off. That's why when you go see a movie the second week it's out, you're actually giving the theater money. It's better to go see it the second week it comes out, because you're giving the theaters money then. You're not giving the studios money. You're giving the theaters money. Because the first weekend, all that goes pretty much right to the studios. But yeah, so she's not happy about this. On July 9th, Black Widow set a pandemic-era box office record with its $80 million debut in North America and earned an additional $78 million overseas. It pulled in $60 million on Disney+. Ticket sales steeply declined, though, in subsequent weeks, and it currently stands at $319 million globally, putting Black Widow on track to become one of the lowest-grossing Marvel movies of all time. Well, to be fair, it's pretty much tied right now with Space Jam and New Legacies, because both of their rankings went down the shithole after the first week or two. It just went downhill. I think for Space Jam, it was literally after the first week. I think after the nuance wore off and the reviews started coming out and people were like, yeah, this is not what we thought it was going to be. This is not what you promised us. And I still don't get the people that are like, I liked it, and they're giving me a reason why they liked it, and I'm thinking their reason sounds really static. Yeah, I could understand this, but yeah, this is going to be one of the lowest grossing Marvel movies to date. And this is not good news. She is pissed about this, and understandably. I mean, she has not been without controversy. Remember when she was playing Major Katsuragi in that Ghost in the Shell remake? That Ghost in the Shell movie, I should say, the live action one. There were people that were throwing a holy bitch fit about that, because the character in the anime is Asian. She's not Asian. I actually remember getting so pissed off with hearing everybody bitching and complaining on social media. I was so tempted to put a screenshot up of the trailer on my monitor, put a bottle of lotion on one side and a box of Kleenex on the other one, and say, interpret this as you will. Because that's how fed up I was getting listening to everybody bitching and complaining about this. It's like, oh, well, you don't understand. It's not accurate to the series. No, it's not going to be accurate to the series. You take whatever you get. If the series is basically, oh, well, we have this actress that's under contract. They need a movie. We have them under contract. They have to be in something that we're producing. There you go. And to be fair, what the hell does it matter? It's a live-action adaptation. You could take a few liberties with it. But, of course, they were pissed off. It was called whitewashing in Hollywood. Yeah, this was just... oh, yeah, this is just bad here. But the suit, though... the suit notes that Disney stock rose after the company disclosed the rental figures. So, this is not good, though. But shortly after its debut, the National Association of Theater Owners, the industry's main trade organization, asserted a simultaneous release of Black Widow in theaters and on streaming costs Disney money in revenue per viewer over the life of the film. Yeah, because they got to pay for the server, they have to pay for, putting it up there. But the kicker is that they're making $30 a pop on this, and yeah, I could understand people, yeah, no, not really. It's not costing them that much. But yeah, apparently Disney's stock rose, though, after the company disclosed the rental figures. They chose to placate Wall Street investors and pad its bottom line rather than allow its subsidiary, Marvel, to comply with the agreement. The suit reads, to no one's surprise, Disney's breach of agreement successfully pulled millions of fans away from the theaters and towards its Disney Plus streaming service, because Disney is tired. I think Disney is sick and tired of putting movies in theaters, because they figure, why put it in theaters? We can literally just charge you from home and we keep all the money. Whereas, like I said, the first week, most of that money goes to the studio. A small portion of it stays with the theater for the rights to host the movie. So it's basically, the theater is the medium, because you have the studio that made the movie, and you, the consumer that's buying it, you have to go through the movie theater in order to get what you want. Disney, or well, let's use Disney as an example here. Let's say a movie brought in $250 million. I'm like rough estimate here for like the first day. Let's say it released on a Friday, and it's $250 million it made on Friday. I'm not talking the whole weekend. I'm talking just Friday. Out of that $250 million, Disney would be getting X amount of money. Let's say 75% of it. With the theater getting the remaining 25% for their cost of putting up the movie, having the tickets, dealing with the fans. That's their cut of it. With Disney deciding we're going to go full streaming service, we're not paying you anymore to host this. We're going to host it ourselves. We're cutting you out of the equation altogether. And this has been something that movie theaters have been fearing for a while. And while I want to say that, yes, it is a bad thing, at the end of the day, here's the concept. It does have a point. Movie theaters are basically a cavalcade of issues, ranging from overpriced food and concession stands, sticky seats, annoyances galore, whereas you can just watch it at home, pause the damn thing, go take a piss, and come back to your couch and take up right where you left off. You're not missing anything by having to walk 10 feet to the bathroom. You don't have to like nudge your friend and say, let me know what I missed, I gotta go pee. You're not gonna miss anything. If you watch it at home on the street, you're not missing anything. But with Disney, the way that they're doing this is that they still have the older contracts yet. And it's basically, we'll pay you X amount per how well it does in theaters. Not realizing that, oh yeah, we're simultaneously releasing this. I guess we should have upgraded that. Oh well, who cares? It's Disney. So, yeah. But Johansson's legal salvo comes as new distribution paradigms and the COVID-19 pandemic are reshaping the way that A-list actors are paid for their work. Many top actors, including back-end profits participation as part of their contracts. But the rise of streaming services such as Netflix has removed these forms of compensation, and the decision by traditional movie studios like Warner Brothers and Disney to release films on their own in-house subscription service has further upended those old ways of doing business. Like I said, they're still using the old contract, and they didn't upgrade it to their, to meet their current standards because they don't want to pay out the extra money that they would have beforehand. Oh, if it does extremely well on our streaming service, you'll get the same bonus. They're not going to do that because then it's basically they're making the same amount of money they would have made if it would have been in the theaters. Only in this case, instead of paying the theaters, they're paying you. They're not willing to do that. Let's face it, they're not willing to do that. When Warner Brothers opted to send its entire film slate to HBO Max, realizing the movie theaters were only operating at limited capacity for much of the year, the studio had to pay tens of millions of dollars to the stars of those films. That resulted in actors such as Will Smith, Denzel Washington, and Keanu Reeves earning their full back end on the movies that Warner Brothers released on its new service. If successful, Johansson's suit could embroider more actors to seek additional compensation for films that migrated to the streaming services, and then may lead to agents including stricter language in contracts regarding compensation of an exclusive theatrical release is compromised or bypassed. Johansson's attorney suggested that her suit could be a precedent setter. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this one could. Because you're basically saying, look, I got screwed, I'm tired of this, and she's just finally standing the hell up and saying it, look, and first off, I applaud her. I want to say this. First off, I applaud you for basically spitting in Disney's face. You basically spit in their face, and you're like, I'm pissed. And you're telling the House of Mouse where to stick it. I applaud you for that. I want to say that right off the bat. I applaud you for that. Thank you so much for that. That is so good of you. In the grand scheme of things. I kind of think that this might not end the way you're hoping it's going to end. To be fair, Disney has a legion of ass-kissing lawyers. Okay, they're willing to bend over and do whatever Disney says, and Disney knows this. They have a legion of ass-kissing lawyers. So, yeah, this will definitely be a precedent setter. I'm not going to lie. Because without actors, you have no movies. Without movies, you have no extra income coming in. And look at Disney. They spend how much money just to make one fucking blockbuster, like a couple $1 million for CGI effects alone. They're gonna need some asses in those seats, either on your couch at home or in the theaters to make something. Otherwise, they're gonna lose their ass in the future, and they ain't up for losing money. But yeah, this is just horrible, though. It's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow directly onto their Disney Plus to increase subscribers and thereby boost the company's stock price. And that it's hiding behind the COVID-19 as a pretext to do so. An attorney for Johansson was quoted as saying in a statement to Variety, but ignoring the contracts of artists responsible for the success of its films in furtherance of this short-sighted strategy violates their rights, and we look forward to proving as much in court. This will surely not be the last case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney and makes it clear that whatever the company may pretend, it has legal obligations to honor its contracts. Yeah, let me just explain to you how contracts work in Disney. See the contract? See the lighter? Yeah, that's how that works in Disneyland. That's how it works at Disneyland. Ever hear of Skipper Dan? Yeah, you want to know why he's working in the Jungle Cruise ride? Yeah, because he was an actor. Disney probably didn't want to pay him. So it's like, we'll give you a better job. You're the tour guide on the Jungle Cruise ride. Enjoy. But Johansson's legal team said that representatives for the actress were worried that Black Widow would debut on Disney Plus even before the coronavirus brought life to a standstill. As part of the suit, they share emails from the star's management group that asked the studio to guarantee that Black Widow would premiere exclusively in cinemas. In response, Marvel chief counsel Dave Galuzzi, I probably mispronounced that, I apologize, promised a traditional theatrical bow, while adding, "We understand that should the plan change, we would need to discuss this with you and come to an understanding as the deal is based on a series of very large box office bonuses," which apparently they just figured, well, screw this noise, we're not doing that. Why should we have to do that? No. Because remember, Disney owns Marvel. Disney probably looked at this as like, wait, you want to do what? No. We'll call her. We'll call her. Don't worry about it. They just chucked, it was like, yeah, we're not going to call her. It's more money for us. It'll do fine in theaters. People want to get out anyway. They'll go out and see it. We'll put it up on Disney Plus, and people will still go out and see it in the theaters. It'll be fine. Oh, wow, we made more money on Disney Plus, and the movie's barely making anything on the theaters. Ooh. Well, that's fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's almost like that meme with the dog sitting at the table. You know, it's like, it's fine. There's fire all around him. Yeah, it's not fine. Disney's screwed. But I just love it. First of all, like I said, I congratulate her for spitting in Disney's face. I love it when people spit in Disney's face. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to say this. She's been through enough with Hollywood's BS. Like I said, you know, the whole controversy with her playing Major Katsuragi in Ghost in the Shell, to her being, having the standalone movie, getting screwed by Disney. Look, she's been through enough, okay? Let's just leave it at that and just, you know, don't fuck her anymore. Like I said, Disney didn't even do the process right here. They're supposed to buy him dinner first, then fuck him. That's how this works. That's how it works. You buy him dinner first, then you screw him. You treat him like the $5 whore, then you screw him. Only in this case, they didn't do that. Now she's pissed. That I mean no disrespect. Like I said, I am really happy that she's spitting in Disney's face. But like I said, there's an order in which you're supposed to do this stuff. And Disney obviously didn't decide to do that. No. Because if you want to screw somebody over, you have to treat them with like the high-class respect like you would treat like someone you're not planning to, you know, do much business with anymore. So yeah, this is not going to end well for them at all. This is funny. I'm looking forward to see how this turns out. I really am. Alright, so this one's kind of fun. So, Google has apparently released this neat little game as their Google Doodle for a while. And this is going in line with the Olympics. It's the Google Doodle Champion Island Games. And honestly, this is pretty fun. I've actually played this. Let me rephrase that. I've beaten this because you can beat this thing in about an hour and a half. If you really put it in, you can beat this in an hour and a half, especially if you use the action button to move faster, or you just use the ninja poof that you can do by going to the map. You can beat this thing in about an hour to an hour and a half. So it's not that difficult to beat. But they really outdid themselves with this. The search page, Doodle was dedicated to the Tokyo Olympics. A fully playable game titled Doodle Champion Island Games tells the story of Lucky, an adorable calico cat on a mission to win Doodle Island Games. You collect the 7 scrolls from beating the 7 games, and I played this the first day it came out, and I told my mom when I got the 7th scroll, she's watching me, I'm like, I swear to God, if a freaking dragon pops out of this, it's like 7 scrolls, so you gather all 7 of the scrolls, and then all of a sudden there's like massive, and it was like a flowery dragon, but then it made this tree. I'm like, I swear to God, if a freaking dragon comes out of this, I'm going to lose my mind, because that's ripping off Dragon Ball. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool. It's an anime-themed, full opening. There's actually some little cutscenes that are animated that are really neat. Your whole premise in this, you're supposed to pick a team, battle it out on that team, in glory for the island. You got a skateboarding raccoon in Tanuki City, an archery thing, a ping pong tournament, a foot race on a beach, a dance revolution competition, set in the land that I actually had to explain this one to my mom, because I actually caught wind of it when I finished the trophies for that little section. This is actually pretty cool. So, in the Dance Revolution one, the dancing underwater thing, that's set to the story of Ushimaru Taro. It's a story about a guy that saves a turtle on a beach, and the turtle is so thankful that he offers to take the human down to, the undersea palace to meet the queen. The queen is Otohime, and he meets her, spends a couple days down there, then starts getting homesick, worries about his friends and family at home, and wants to go back to the surface, and he's given a box, and upon getting up to the surface, he realizes that 300 years has passed since he went down there. He's been gone for 300 years, and upset by this fact that all of his friends and family are long dead, he opens up the box, and the 300 years of life just immediately hit him, and he dies. And the last thing he hears is Princess Otohime saying, "I told you not to open the box. Inside was your old age." If he would have stayed down in the undersea palace, he could have stayed down there for eternity. He would have never aged. So it was an interesting story, because there's a trophy you can get in this thing from that little area where you have to deliver a message from the spirit down to Taro in the undersea castle, and the spirit's his mom, and you come back up and give the mom the message, and the mom's finally at peace, and you get a trophy for that. But the kicker is, and I really don't want to spoil this, but I'm going to have to, because I'm sure other people have by now. I think Google has created the GCU. Or the GGU is what I want to call it. Not the GCU, the GGU. The Google Gaming Universe. Because Magical Cat Academy, Momo, from that game, that's the Halloween game where you draw the little doodle and you she is apparently the trophy master on the island, and you apparently played her game, and she's playing your game. And that's the final trophy you get, is rescuing the trophy master, and once you rescue the trophy master, that's it. It's really cool, and I'm like, okay. I started losing it when I did that last week. I was like, okay, because, like I said, you can literally beat this in like an hour and a half. It's not that difficult. You can beat it in about an hour and a half. It's really not. But it is kind of fun. There's a lot of interesting things here, but this isn't the only thing I want to say that's anime-themed with the Olympics. First off, this is pretty cool, and Google did a damn good job on this. You really did a good job on this, wholeheartedly. But this isn't the only thing that, came from the Olympics this time, because the opening ceremonies, and I didn't watch them, I didn't get a chance to, but the opening ceremonies were apparently really kick-ass. The Olympics have started, and if you caught the opening ceremonies, you might have thought the music sounded familiar. Yes, because they were playing game themes from video games, from Japanese video games, were played during the opening ceremony. And they actually have a list here on the Otaku USA article. You had the Overture, Lotto's theme from Dragon's Quest, the Victory Fanfare from Final Fantasy, Sori's theme, Purity, from the Tales series. You had Proof of a Hero from Monster Hunter, Olympus Coliseum from Kingdom Hearts, Frog's theme from Chrono Trigger, First Flight from Ace Combat, Royal Capital, Majestic Grandeur from the Tales series, Winds of Departure from Monster Hunter, Robo's theme from Chrono Trigger, Starlight Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog, eFootball Walk-On theme from Winning 11 Pro Evolution Soccer, the main theme from Final Fantasy, Guardians from Phantasy Star Universe, Heroes Fanfare from Kingdom Hearts, 01 Act 1 of 1 from Gradius Nemesis, the Song of the Ancients from Nier, N-I-E-R, the Minstrel's Refrain Saga Series Melody 2016 from Saga Series, and the Brave New Strategy of History from Soul Calibur. So they actually played a lot of video game themes in the opening ceremonies, and that's pretty damn cool. And I'm just going to say it, that's definitely the way to do things. You definitely did a good job of not only keeping, the video game players interested and keeping them sucked in, you did a good job of this. And I want to give credit where credit's due on this. I mean, this is a game that, these games were almost canceled. Because they couldn't have them last year, and there was so many loopholes this year they had to jump through. They almost couldn't have it this year. They're still having them, but there's no spectators. They're limited. A whole bunch of other stuff's been going on. So, yeah, there are some good and bad things with this, but still, I'm happy that it's at least gotten out and you could see it. But yeah, that is definitely a way to do things. You play some video game themes. Though I have to ask, where's some other... Because I noticed they have Kingdom Hearts, Chrono Trigger, was on here twice. The Tales series was on here twice, I think. Yeah, Tales series on here twice. Monster Hunter was on here twice. So while they have some good songs, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that there are some other ones you could have played. Unless it's just a licensing issue, which that's what I'm assuming it probably could have been. Hey, they couldn't get the license for song A or B, so they had to go to one of the backup songs that they could get the licenses for, which I would see as not that difficult to get a license for this, because you'd be looking at getting a massive amount of gratification out of this and getting your game once again in the spotlight. So that's sort of a take it as you will sort of deal, but still, that's impressive nonetheless. But yeah, so you got the Doodle, the Doodle. Oh, that's a good way of putting it. The Doodle, the Google Doodle, the Google Doodle, and this pretty much showing you that the Olympics this time around were definitely something to be enjoyed. And they're going to the 8th, I believe, so there's still some time yet if you want to play the game. If you want to play Champions Island, that is a lot of fun, though. My personal favorite, if you want my personal favorite game to play on that, is actually the dance one, because the music on that one, the competition one, is cool. If you do the free one that you can do in the Palace, the music's not that good, but if you want to play some really good music, do the battle one that you're supposed to do at the gate. That's worth that one's worth it. But yeah, it's definitely cool. Highly recommend checking it out. It's worth your time and effort. It's fun, but this was cool. They at least play a lot of cool video game music. That's amazing. I really do like that. That is cool. So yeah, kudos to you guys for that. Yeah, that's just amazing. It really is. All right, so this article is definitely fun as hell. So an 11-year-old has managed to cut through the bullshit of buying an RTX 3070 graphics card. He found a loophole in the lottery, okay, and bought these things. And, of course, Newegg had to thank the kid for finding this loophole and then immediately shut the loophole down. So buying high-end gaming hardware is a pain in the ass. With the new Xbox Series X/S, selling out pretty much faster than they can keep them on the goddamn shelves. And the early access to the PS5 orders are pay-gated at places like Amazon and GameStop. Graphics card market is, it's a mess. And it turns out shopping carts and eBay resellers, however, have been making themselves known. It's timed out shopping carts, eBay resellers. They've just been making a profit off of this. But of course, a hero has risen up and beaten the PC gaming tech sellers. The gaming tech seller Newegg, I should say, at its own game. They're like, yes, I will screw you over. So last week, PC Mag via PC Gamer reported that an 11-year-old Florida boy, of course, Florida boy, yes, I guess it's the son of Gray Still Plays Florida Man, Florida boy, I like how they go, of course, yes, I get a kick out of that, figured out a way to buy a NVIDIA RTX 3090 graphics card from Newegg. Okay, it's 3090, my apologies, it's like they said 3070. It's 3090, my apologies. From Newegg, without playing its new lottery system or having to buy a bunch of extra crap. RTX 3000 series cards and others are in short supply and high demand. Basically, not enough to go around and people want them. Yeah. I love learning about economics in high school. You never forget that stuff. So retailers either bundle their limited stock of them with other pricey parts or raffle them off to rare winners of online lotteries like Newegg's Shuffle Contest. But not in Ricardo Santana's case. He discovered that you could actually access Newegg's extremely limited RTX 3000 inventory by using its gaming PC builder service on the mobile app. Normally, the service requires you to buy all the parts for a finished gaming rig and then pay Newegg an assembly fee on top. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, there you go. You're paying for the parts, and then you're paying Newegg to assemble it. Oh, yeah, that'll work out well. On mobile, though, however, Santana was able to select all the parts, go to checkout, and then delete them all and purchase a $729 NVIDIA RTX. Oh, now, wait, make up your game. Pick a lane. Is it the 3070 or 3090 graphics card? Pick a lane, Kotaku. Pick a lane. Pick a goddamn lane. All by its lonesome. Which is to say, for a brief moment, the graphics card market worked as it should. I thought about purchasing more, but I don't want to abuse it. I would like to give other people the opportunity. Apparently, Santana's dad told PC Mag, it's terrible that we have to go to this extent to be able to obtain these cards. You want to buy more? $729. What were you getting it for? $10? Then Newegg stepped in and sealed the leak. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on a second. Yep, this definitely a leak here. Yeah, this is Newegg. Yeah, we got a leak down here, Section 5, Corridor C. We need you to close it off. All right, everybody, we don't need you to step away now. This is, we here are from Newegg, Division 6. We're here to seal this leak. Oh, and, forget you ever saw this. Yeah. Yeah, so they pull out the neuralizer from MIP. Only a small number of GPUs were sold, though, via this loophole. And they halted all subsequent orders. Senior brand manager Andrew Choi told PC Mag. And kudos to 11-year-old Ricardo Santana for spotting the loophole. Perhaps there's a future for him at Newegg. Yes, you found a loophole. You found a way for people to screw us over. We're not happy about that. What a job working for us. That's the best joke I think of that entire article. It's like, oh, yeah, no, you just spent almost $800 because you figure shipping and everything else and insurance. Yeah, you spent about $800 almost for a card. Hey, that's for a graphics card. Hey, that's great. You found a loophole on our site, though, kid. We're not happy about that, but hey, you want a job working for us? Oh, that's hilarious. Hey, you want a job working for us, kid? I mean, after all, we're hiring. Yeah, well, you see, yeah, come to us in a few years. We're still here. Yeah, we might have a job for you. You spotting loopholes like this. You can close them up before we get to them. We'll make you part of the cleanup crew. You'll be part of Division 6. If anybody gets the MIB reference in that, it's funny. But yeah, so that's just hilarious in my opinion. I mean, it's just, you gotta admit, I mean, you find a way to do that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, no, it doesn't work. Oh, okay, yep, no, we're screwed. Yep, that's pretty much it. But I find that hilarious. Beyond hilarious, basically. It's just that I can't believe you found a loophole. They step in, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Nope. Hold on a second. Yep, nope, we're gonna plug this leak. Sorry, folks. Ride's closed. You have to go get your kicks elsewhere, folks. Sorry about this. We have to stop this. We gotta fix this leak. Yeah, this is Division 6. We got a leak down here. It's pretty damn bad. I mean, I understand the concept, though, of it. I mean, it's basic economics, supply and demand. If there's too much of a demand for something, you don't have the supply for it. Yeah, I get it, because there's not really much you can do about it. But at the same time, it still kind of sucks that you can't get a graphics card. Especially like a high-end one if you really want to make your own PC. Yeah, you can't get your own. It does suck. I won't deny that. But at the same time, yeah, I understand it. But still, it kind of does blow. But it's funny. He found a loophole and they had to close it. Okay, now it's time for the topic that I was telling you about, the surprise topic, because, believe it or not, tomorrow tomorrow for me as I'm recording this right now, but the day you're listening to this, today is basically a very, very, very wonderful moment. And what exactly is this moment, you ask? Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. You see, it was about 20 years ago that this really interesting game dropped its way into a lot of people's lives. It was called Golden Sun. Now, for me, I actually would get this for my 13th birthday. And I loved it. I played this, and it took me 8 months to beat it, but I played it. I loved it. Then I replayed it again after I found out that there were some things that I missed. Like my first playthrough of it. And this is a game that honestly, and I want to say this, it honestly is a quintessential game that I think anybody that wants to call themselves a gamer has either A, had to have heard of, or B, has it somewhere in their collection. Like, yes, I remember playing it at one point. I owned it and I got rid of it. This is the game that actually got me into RPGs, because this was the best game I had ever played at the time. Now, granted, this was the third game I had ever owned. Okay, and I mean, this was the third game I ever owned for my for my Game Boy Advance. This is the third one ever. And the first one I owned was a Legacy of Goku. The second one was a Metabots game. And Golden Sun was my third Game Boy Advance game ever. And I loved it. And the fact that it's turning 20 years old and it's still remembered by a majority of people, even this day and age, I'm impressed. Mostly because, and, let's, say it this way, it's really, really impressive that it has managed to, for as long as it has remained, still hold true to be one of the best titles that I've ever played. And the story itself is just so captivating. And there's so many fans out there of it that, I constantly, I follow a couple of them on Twitter. I'm constantly commenting. He's like, hey, do you remember the first time? Oh, yeah, I remember that. It's a pain in the ass. Or, oh, yeah, I love that section. There's always the funness with the characters. Like, you had Ivan, the character that would always freaking die. No matter what I did. No matter if I put him at the first spot on the party so he would gain some experience faster, at least that's how I thought in my mind, he would somehow always die. And I was like, I am getting tired of this, boy. How do you keep dying? So then finally, when I played The Lost Age, he was the one that survived in the final battle, summoned the last of the energy that we had stored up, and was able to take out the boss at the end of the game. And I'm like, it was Ivan. It was Ivan! This is the one that dies first, and he managed to survive. And I always love that. But this is the game that, for me, was the first ever true RPG game that I ever played. I loved the feel of it. I loved the affinity that it had. I just loved it in general. It's one of the main reasons why I am so strong for this thing getting its own anime series. Even a remake, because with its anniversary, it deserves something. It deserves a lot more love than what we, the fans, are giving it. I mean, we love the game. We love the series. We love the lore. The problem is, the game itself, once you reach a certain point, that's it. I mean, once you beat the game, there's not much you can do. Except if you play The Lost Age, because then you can play New Game Plus, where you have all the powers that you have now, minus when you have all the dungeon. And you can, keep your current level, which means that you're really strong, making the first part of the game literally a cakewalk. It's like, yeah, okay, here, you two defend. I'm gonna take down this mini boss on my own. I can take out these 3 monkeys like it's nothing. All right, that's done. Or hey, I'm gonna take on Karsten Nagato, and you can actually put up a good fight. You might actually be able to beat them. Maybe if you get to level 99, you might actually have a chance of beating them on your first shot. You might actually have a better chance of beating the Shaman's Road Trial in the Lost Age when you play New Game Plus. That wasn't available, though, for the regular game. You had to play it. It was either that or you play the, here, let me go and, battle it out here in the Coliseum, which is basically just a endurance of, hey, how many of these, monsters can you beat? And most of the time it's, okay, that many, that's not bad. Oh, that many, that's not bad. But yeah, I got a kick out of this game. I love the game. And I wanted to give it some love on its 20th anniversary. So I thought I would dedicate a little bit of the podcast to talking about Golden Sun in its entirety, in its longevity. Because there's 3 games for it. There's the original Golden Sun, there's Golden Sun The Lost Age, and then there's Golden Sun Dark Dawn. And Dark Dawn was the first DS title, which a lot of people didn't like. I'll admit it had some issues, but I enjoyed it. For the most part, I enjoyed it. But yeah, it did have some issues, I will admit. But, I mean, the leveling mechanic in that thing to gain levels, that was busted beyond repair, because I could easily speed piss whip that thing and get high up levels. I was level 99 on my 4 main characters for Team A, and the other 4 characters for Team B were just a few levels behind. And I went into the final boss, and it barely was a fight then. But yeah, it's a fun game. I'm not going to deny that. It is a fun series, it's a fun franchise, and it definitely, if you have never checked it out, I know so many people that have done walkthroughs on it. Zero the First did a gameplay of it, because I actually watched it, which was a lot of fun, too, because I actually interacted via the chat with them. So that was kind of fun. If you get a chance to check that one out, it's still up yet. But so many people have done videos on this. So many people have done talks on this. There's in-depth guides. I love this game, and it truly deserves a lot more than I think it has gotten in the realm of the love that it needs. It deserves so much more. That's why, like I said, I am heavily for this getting its own anime series. I am heavily for this, getting a remake. I'm all for it because it deserves. It really does. It deserves so much love and attention. And it kind of, bothers me that it doesn't get this, but it has its fans. And we are always here. We have a massive amount of us. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, the 20th anniversary is literally today. When you're watching it. For me, I'm recording this the day before because August 1st is when it originally came out. It is so cool. If you get a chance to watch it, we'll watch it at this point. If you get a chance to play it, that's really cool. If you get a chance to watch somebody else play, you want to watch see how the game goes, go for it. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, there's 3 versions. There's the original version, there's its sequel, The Lost Age, and then there's Dark Dawn. All 3 are classics. All 3 are great to watch. The story in it is just so beautifully told. The song, like the music that plays in the background, the BGM, that is just beautifully done as well. Not to mention some of the battle music. I mean, the first game's battle music, that is beautiful. The second one, I love Jenna's theme that you play as when you first start the game. Then you have like Piers' theme, or the ship's theme when you're on the water. The group together, it's just, it's a lot of fun. It really is. And if you get a chance, check the game out. I highly recommend it. Follow a lot of the people on Twitter that are heavy into the Golden Sun franchise. You will learn a lot more about the game. It's truly well worth your time and effort to check it out. But like I said, I wanted to dedicate a little bit of the podcast to this because I kind of felt like it deserved it. It really did for, what it is. It deserved to get a bit of recognition on its anniversary. It's 20 years old. Okay, it is. It's 20 years old. It is well worth it. It is beautiful. I recommend checking it out. If you haven't checked it out yet, do so, please. It is worth it. Just YouTube it. It's a fun game. It really is. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say on it. That's all I got to say on it because, like I said, it's 20 years old today. Happy birthday, Golden Sun. Hopefully, Camelot can come back and do a 4th game. Give everybody the 4th game that we need because he kind of ended it on a cliffhanger. But maybe, hopefully, an anime series. And I'll take an OVA. Seriously, I'll take a 4-episode OVA. I'll take a 4-episode OVA. That's fine. 2 episodes to basically handle the have it kind of like Pokemon Origins. I'll take a 4-episode OVA. I'd be cool with that. Yeah. Alright then, everybody, that's about all I got then this week for the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Don't forget to submit your Q&A questions for the next Q&A video. I don't know if I want to do one yet for August. I'm still up in the air on that yet. But you can submit your questions and they'll get answered for the next Q&A video. And don't forget, standard YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Check out my other videos. Don't forget, there's a new rant video that came out. Me taking on Netflix with their live-action Pokemon series. Hopefully didn't offend anybody by it. I really hope I didn't. But either way, I'm looking forward to your comments. And yes, until then, until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. This has been the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, and I am checking out. Everybody, have a nice week. Have a nice day, and I will catch you all next time. Bye, everybody, and have a good one.